offense of the year? Is it as simple as your offensive line played their best game and those two coincided?
Um, no, that I wish it were that simple. I think it goes back like of every week we've had discussions about how do we have to get better, and so how do we get better? Right? We took into a good off week. We've continued to do the things and work on the things that we as a staff believe that we have to improve upon in order to have not only weekly success but long-term success. So I think the real answer would be committing to the run, growing and getting better hand placement and footwork up front. Both backs played really well, manipulated runs really well, hit it vertical really well. We strained a little bit more on the perimeter blocking and certainly in the core, which helped that. And then we didn't turn the football like there's a lot. It is much more complex than that. We didn't turn the football over. We played together and owned those things. So I think it's just, there's a lot of reasons as to why that helped us have some success. And then, of course, this week the challenge is even greater that'll be pivotal for us to continue to grow in those things to have success this week.
One of the tweaks you had was getting Bryce involved in the run game with the jet sweep. Is it just the idea of having a bigger, more physical guy, getting the ball in his hands in that situation?
Yeah, I think both. Like we've got some capable runners with it, but I think that it was. Plus, he is having a year and progressing very good and becoming an A+ player. And as he grows and becomes an A+ player, certainly it makes us smart to continue to find ways to get him the ball the way he does good with it. And he is a really good vertical runner. After he sticks his foot in the ground and gets it vertical, he's big and hard to tackle. So it's good business for us to find ways to get it to him to be even like late in the game there, you saw him carry the guy and step out of just a common little now screen that Winston strained on and got him some room, and he stepped out of it. So a lot of it's just continuing to find the best ways to get our guys the ball with what they do well.
A guy that can break a block or tackle at the line of scrimmage maybe when there's a guy open.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, amen.
What did that first drive do for your offense?
Well, anytime you have, we've been good on first drives all year, predominantly. So, but if anything, it does. It speaks belief, and gets guys going. There was a lot of energy going, especially after Daggy, threw a nice deep ball and Sean Ryan made the play. It kind of gets you going. You develop some confidence. Like anything, a good feeling goes a long way. And I think we got going and developed some confidence, and then that stuff starts to flow, and then we've got to learn how to now carry those things not only within a game, we need to carry them throughout weeks.
How about coming off a loss, or coming off a 3-game losing streak, and then giving up the long kickoff return, and then fumbling muffing the kickoff, shall we say?
Yeah, it was. I guess our guys wanted to quickly make sure that we had grown as a football team from learning how to grow from adversity quickly. So we passed the test, I guess.
The first drive was good. How about the second drive? 15 plays, 94 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, that pretty much you feel like it was like almost like the turning point in the game, if not the whole season.
Yeah, you sure hope so. I mean, it was a good message sent that knowing that we also we've got to finish and we got to do better. We know it as a staff and as an offense. We've got to finish with red zone touchdowns and not field goals. And that second drive, it probably did. I think it probably helped the guys say, hey, we've got a chance to now score touchdowns instead of 3 points, and give the guys confidence about how to finish drives. And just the way we finished a couple of those touchdown drives with our O-line up front, really putting Letty in the end zone, and one of those untouched is kind of a good message for them.
Seems like every offensive coach you talk to when they talk about preparing for Iowa State is don't get greedy. The way they play, embrace the 4-yard gain and try to stay on schedule. Is that how you view it with these guys?
Yeah, I mean it's that they are sound in everything they do. I've talked about it before, but John Haycock, their defensive coordinator, is honestly a good friend, and I got a chance to work with him for a year at Purdue, which seems like too many years ago, but I know he is. He is a great man. He's a great family dude. His son's going to be a great coach. His wife and daughter are awesome, which probably even pisses you off even more. But they're awesome, and he is a proven winner and plays a great brand of football, and his personality, you can see it through their defense. So, you've got to be, in some ways, you got to plan to be just as stubborn as him, because that's what he does well.
ID right, right? Because sometimes they'll give you a light box and then they play games and do things that you kind of trick you a little bit, right, when you see things.
Yeah, it's a little bit of it's good window dressing, and it's somewhat of what our defense does too. But a 4-man box can quickly really become a 6-man box, and it so it'll fool you into thinking there's light boxes when really it isn't, like you're saying.
How much were you to see the performance from Mathis on Saturday, taking a little bit of the load off of him?
Yeah, I think maybe not, but honestly, just happy for him because we really felt like going into the year that's what he had deserved and gotten himself to as a player. And it was unfortunate that he kind of had a setback with the injury, and it just took him some time to get there. So to be quite honest, before having to get a little bit of work done there, that's how he was running. So it sure was really just happy for him to get to that point where he was running like he was during fall camp. He had earned that right. Players and guys around his building respect him a lot, so it was good for him to get that moment.
Obviously, you used him some during the game, but putting him in that closer role after Letty got the first couple carries on the last significant drive and trusting him, protect the ball, do that, keep moving the change. I mean, that says a lot. You did that without a lot of evidence that he was ready to do that. Was it sparked from practice? What led to that decision?
Yeah, we just, we kind of came out of the bye week too. We all, from Coach Brown down, just, we got to continue to work on our side of things and fix our stuff too. And one of those was to have blind faith in our players. We trust our guys. Did they make mistakes? Yes, we do too. And we've all got to trust each other. We're working in the right direction, have faith, even sometimes the result doesn't what we want. That doesn't mean we don't still not believe, and believe in him. So I thought it was a good message for him, and I gave Sean a hard time. So I'm not being mean, but you know what? He took away a moment from him. It's why our perimeter block is crucial, because the drive should have. You talk about a cool moment for us to finish a 4-minute and change drive, and that it ended in a touchdown. But we did a really nice job, and Tony ran hard, and we really strained, and I think took 4 minutes off the clock there at the end of the game, which was good to see.
Topic we had with Neil, but in-game communication, and not necessarily this game, but just in general, for those that don't hear it, how confusing can it be? Is there a system to it? How do you guys do it?
You're talking about on the headsets. Yeah, you know what? When it's high stress environments, so it's always fun. I always say if somebody could get on there and listen, it's I'm afraid some people would walk away and be like, whew, but it's good. It was smooth, we always working on getting better at it and everything. And Coach Brown does a nice job with it, and staff communicates well during in between drives to make sure and put ourselves in a position to put up what we need to put our guys in a position to be successful.
We talked last week a lot about getting the running game back on track and how you were working to do that during the bye week. And we talked to Letty about said he needed to be more disciplined with his eyes. So Neil says he did that, and it seems to have paid off, right? I mean, was that maybe the biggest key was his eye discipline, or was it the blockers in front of him to be able to rush for 230 yards as a team?
Yeah, I think again, it's probably a little bit more. There's a little bit of everything to it, right? It's complex in fixing and then sustaining it. I think that he was much better with his eyes. I thought he strained more, hit holes more, didn't miss runs, and got vertical and really grinded it out, just as Tony did. And then up front, were we perfect? No, but at the same time, we strained a little bit more. Put our hats in the right spot. Doug Nestor played his best game. Wyatt Milam's growing up. Zach Frazier continues to play at a high level. Gamitter's really starting to develop into a steady A player. And Brandon Yates showed spots of him being able to strain and finish blocks, and we got to continue to take steps across the board. Those guys are starting to feel what it means to be kind of a family of 5 guys that got to get it fixed. And make things work against multiple looks and movements. And so it really is a combination of all those guys. And then Mike O and Banks when he came in. But Mike O, those guys strained to finish out and block C-gap for us too and strained. So a lot of guys involved in making it work. It was good to see them get the reward of the results. But you tie back on a Tuesday. Now it's just about another Tuesday practice to tie back in what it's going to do to have success this week.
As an offensive coordinator wants to play his offensive line every play, and yet you guys did that. How did that come about?
I'm sorry now?
No offensive coordinator wants to play his 5 offensive linemen every play, yet you did that. how did that come about?
Yeah, I think that, as you go through every spot you do, you do want, I would say to this, not to argue, but it would be, you do want to have 5 guys you can stand for and stand on, and then have depth developed. So in one regard, I would say we like having those 5 guys there, because that's the 5 working together all the time, and avoid any injury and develop as much depth as we can. And we'll continue to do that. But honestly, it was really good to see those 5 guys out there to take those and finish games the way they did. And then, like I said, to just continue to push our depth.
What is more important decisions on game day or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, putting the playlist together?
Yeah, as we do it as a staff, as you all know, so I think that, obviously the preparation, you have to get lost in the work of preparation throughout the week. And then as we go through and get to the game, you got to trust your gut and how the game flow's going, and trust your gut and what you believe the players are doing well, and give those guys the plan, sell the plan all week, and give them guys belief in knowing they can execute the plan.
Saw you walking here with a big smile today. I mean, how much does a win like that just do for the morale of the whole team? How much did you guys need that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we would all be lying if we didn't say that, morale does matter, and unfortunately in our profession and in this day and age, as I've talked about before with players, like, it's hard for people to trust a process and trust things, unfortunately, at times to a fault without the winning result. It's no different that back in the glory days of shooting basketball, if you take a gazillion shots and you make 0, it's hard to believe you're doing the right things, and you lose a little bit of faith until one goes in. And this day and age, with all the stuff that gets pushed and all the narratives that get written that we can't control, you're trying like heck every day to fight your culture and make sure that the guys understand we are doing things the right way. You are a good young man. You are a good football player. And you know what the answer is to get better? You're going to have to work really hard. And that's, I mean, to be real honest with you, most of the time this day and age, everybody wants to, really wants to go another direction besides that, right? I mean, it's really hard to say you didn't get what you wanted, go take a break. You know what I mean? The real answer is it didn't go the way you wanted it, and we're going to have to go back to work. But when you do that, you trust that process, and then you get a result that you do want, and you get a win and a team win and a plane ride home with country roads playing before you take off, that feels good. And so what do? You got to go back to work to hopefully keep that good feeling going.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you all.